Good evening, it's News View. I'm Lee Sullivan. Thank you for allowing me in, visiting with the infamous Ron Hart, Fox News View contributor, syndicated columnist, libertarian, author, etc. I hope you enjoy the new opening there for the show. Jeff Peck puts that together. It is his mastery of the video camera and the beauty of Northwest Florida that come together, and I appreciate him allowing me to use that. But, Mr. Hart, because of me, probably not, your book has won, that's won an award, the Ben Franklin thing for your
award. Yeah. We get a call to come to New York for something that had been nominated. I thought it was a trick where, you come in there and they arrest everybody for outstanding warrants. I thought it was a trick. But it ended up being a award for humor. So the book did well. It surprised me and everyone else, and it did well. So it's an honor like being chosen a Schwarzenegger maid. It's a very, very high honor indeed.
What a nasty-looking woman!
Oh Lord,
Polish shot putter.
It's a sad day for America.
Oh, so here we are. Obama, traumatized, spending the longest 40 minutes of his life, as it were. But the Navy SEALs, God bless them, kill bin Laden, and so
the longest 40 minutes of his life. I think primarily because he was in a room with Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton.
That could be.
I think that would be anybody's longest 40. The shooting was not that bad. It was the ending of the movie. It was a pretty good ending. So he had to be feeling like when the helicopter went down, he's got to be thinking Jimmy Carter. All over again. So he's thinking, oh God, what is it about Democrat presidents in Middle Eastern countries?
Right.
But they pulled it off. What are you going to do? Hillary Clinton in that picture, that famous picture, which was staged, I'm told. Later, they came back and staged the picture.
I can't believe it.
Who knew? And she has her hand over her mouth, and it occurred to me the reason she's so shocked, she all of a sudden realized Obama's going to get reelected. That's right. Oh no, I can't be president. I can't upgrade my frequent flyer miles.
So he question, he is given, or he takes an awful lot of credit for that, and the news media hawks his audacity in sending them in, and talks about how it could have been a good thing or a bad thing.
I think he drew on his community organizing skills to do this. I'm sure they launched a lot of military operations in Chicago with a clipboard, walking around signing people up for food stamps and the like. So his training, military training, was very helpful in this thing. And the point, seriously, what president, what person would not say yes to that? The man, you're a military guy. He's under surveillance for months. They know he's there. What's the worst thing can happen? Navy SEALs shoot up a place. We do that all the time. So I can't imagine a president, any president, even Jimmy Carter, not doing that. He tried to rescue the Iran hostages. Okay, so it wasn't a bold decision. It was his military that he inherited from Bush, who inherited it from Clinton. It wasn't Bush or Clinton or anyone. You pretty much inherit the infrastructure of the federal government and the CIA, et cetera. Him not saying yes would have been the story. Saying yes is not anything bold.
I saw a picture, you probably have seen it. It says identity of informant released, and it has a picture of George Bush with a white beard.
With a white beard. I think there's $25 million, that they said they're not going to give to anybody. I say give it to the Navy SEALs.
I say right on.
Yeah. And then make an announcement that the $25 million didn't go to anybody, and then all of a sudden China goes, whoa, wait a second. Send it this way.
So the Pakistani parliament condemns the raid.
Right.
Their head of intelligence and security says he'll quit.
Right.
They had the guy laid up.
Well, look, we took care of it. He said we made a mess in there. Look, we took care of it. We cleaned out his place for him. We handled the funeral arrangements for him. What else you want to do?
Pretty much that's pretty magnanimous.
Yeah, we pretty much cleaned up after ourselves. We were out of there pretty quick, 40 minutes. We didn't
seal it with a
kiss.
Anything.
And then now you got a vacation home in Abbottabad. Can open up the summer home there.
So the picture of the late and great bin Laden. Should that be released, or should only like Joe Biden see it?
Yeah, apparently these senators have been rolling in there looking at it. I kind of agree with them on that. I don't particularly care to see the pictures afterwards. I would like to see his face right before he got shot. That's a picture I'd like to see. He made out this tape. This is pretty funny. He made this tape out. his death tape or whatever, where he goes, okay, Al-Qaeda members, I want you to do the following. I want you to support Egypt in their uprising. I want you to kill the infidels. And then he ordered his wife to see what's at the door. I think he hears somebody at the door.
Apparently, he liked to watch a little risque stuff
Really?
too. You know,
I thought he was a religious man.
I thought he was. You know, no telling what the sheets will hide.
Yeah. Well, what they basically found out was, I guess the reason they waited so long to announce it was they raid a place, $1 million mansion with 3 women around, growing pot in the yard, Viagra, and porn. They may have thought they shot Charlie Sheen. here's a religious icon.
That is absolutely. That is so bad.
It's awful.
I love it.
Yeah, he's got this.
Well, you had a great piece that I read when it finally dribbles down to the News Herald: 72 versions versus 72 virgins.
Yeah,
that was a good. That was good stuff.
In fact, I hope he took that Viagra with him, because if he's in heaven or wherever they have now, working through the 72 virgins without his Viagra, he's probably got 67 left to go. He's gonna be working. It's gonna be hard. Apparently this could be a slog for him.
Oh, when we come back, I know you and I talked about the Donald. You have written about the Donald, written about the success of Trump, and then said enough about his father. Now let's talk about him. But when we come back, let's talk a little Trump.
Okay,
Ron Hart. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Newsview. Visiting with Ron Hart, talking about a variety of things. We've gotten bin Laden killed and out of the way, and Trump, as Ron had said, was just going to be there for the picture opportunities. So Trump has, who just vehemently said that he was in it to the end. That the end came a whole lot quicker than I thought that it might.
Shocker, Trump wanting some free publicity. That is just, you think you know somebody.
Really?
You really think you know the man. He says he's going to quit the race to spend more time with his hair. He thinks he needs to spend more time there. But this guy, doing what I do, writing political humor, you hate to see him check out.
You're hunting on a baited field.
Yeah, he's like a Disney cartoon. He's like Fifi LePew or some great cartoon character.
More share.
Yeah, he just draws his own narrative.
I love that cartoon, that skunk chasing the cat.
Yeah, except the IMF guy apparently, Cross. It's exactly the same thing. Trump's a cartoon, and what makes him so funny is that he takes himself so seriously.
Right.
That's where humor is when somebody's a buffoon and they take themselves seriously. That's a great sense of humor. He did say that he chose not to run, but he would have won. Here's a guy not even winning his time slot.
He went so far, Ron, as to say that he would run even if he had to do it as an independent.
Yeah, he's threatened everybody. He was trying to get attention. He didn't. Then he said the other day, Obama, he said he doesn't like Obama's style, etc. He may run too because Obama's so indecisive. It's like, who's indecisive? Here's the truth. From what I can tell, people that know him, he's not as rich as he pretends to be. He don't want people to know that. He'd have to show his money. Some people think he may be broke. I don't know. He's got a very leveraged balance sheet in a bad real estate market. You tell me. He spends a lot of time on this apprentice thing. He can't be making a stack of money on this apprentice thing. There's limited money you make on these things. He's making, 7 figures, but not much. But he seems to be completely. And he's refereeing Meatloaf and Flavor Flav or something like that. I don't know. These are not exactly international diplomacy skills. You can't expect to end the war in Libya when you can't stop Meatloaf from fighting Gary Busey. I don't know how he thinks he's going to do that.
Well, he said that he hoped that bin Laden suffered, and
he made him watch The Apprentice. That's why he suffered.
He watched Celebrity Apprentice. Satellite, right?
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I think bin Laden suffered. The man's in the house with 3 wives, no internet,
no phone.
No phone. It's been pretty bad.
All he had was his porn and his
12-inch TV. Yeah, right. Watching stuff all day. Yes, as if I had a twin.
Well, you got. Let me tell you, the moment before death, or the moment before you believe there is death, can be a moment that is almost indescribable. And I know, I've been there, I know that he went through that. And then, you know, he had blue eyes, one blue right, one blue left.
That's the joke that went around. He said, he sees the Navy SEALs, he said, I need this like a hole in the head. Flew around there a little bit. The other great line was what Bin Laden said to him when they first came in the door. He goes, hey, you guys here to fix the dishwasher? No, I think that would be a great, and I hope those Navy SEALs, and you know more about military than I, come forward at some point. I know Obama went down to Fort Campbell to thank someone.
You know, I would like the privilege of, but one represents all, and out of the group that was chosen, but I know this is a little of me, and I don't care. I'd like to shake all of their hands, but the guy that air conditioned his brain housing group, I'd like to give him a man hug.
Yeah, he didn't miss by much. I tell you, I mean, he probably supposed to track. I think you're supposed to do here and here or something. There's some protocol in which you shoot people, and I'm sure he knew it. But I got to tell you, these wars you and I talk about them. You and I agree. We need to get out of these land wars, these invasion wars. You got predator drones.
You're going to owe me a beer too, because Gaddafi will be in office longer than Obama will be.
We can roll the tape back on that. I may owe you a beer, but if we did like we're doing these Navy SEALs, my view is you send the drones in there. You don't put field troops in there, get blown up by these people. Just send the Navy SEAls in when you have to. These countries don't have cable. They don't have cheese.
Right.
I mean, they don't have Pakistani Idol. We got nothing. So
we're going to talk about Egypt and Oprah in that order. There's a duo for you. Don't go away. Ron Hart. We'll be right back. It's Newsview. Welcome back. I'm visiting with Ron Hart, talking about a variety of things. If you had a chance to check it out on Facebook, you will know that. So Egypt is lauded, if I may, by Bin Laden and by the Western world for their democratic exercise, if that's what you call it.
They're working their way there, although they did rape the 60 Minutes reporter at Laura Logan.
Right.
He got raped over there. So, I mean, they're working their way toward democracy in many ways because, like our TSA, they just did that to her. I mean, they violated a woman there. I think women in America, we were talking about this earlier, I don't think especially the leftist women that want to support the Muslim world and tolerance and coexistence.
That's unbelievable, though.
They don't understand how badly women are treated over there and how good a deal they got in America.
Really?
I mean, this woman, I think she's a bit naive. I mean, I'm not blaming the victim here, but I'm just saying there's a notion that Bush was bad for going after evil and that these people, we need to be more tolerant. And these are the least tolerant people in the world, the left. Especially toward women's rights. They can't drive, they wear the burqas, there's a lot of religious dogma they have to attend to. And this was an example, and she's supposed to be on 60 Minutes to tell her story here pretty soon, and I'm sure it's a sad, tragic story. She's gorgeous. I don't know if you know the woman.
No, she did that last week.
Oh, she did last week? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I missed that, but I saw the Lance Armstrong piece. But, you know, the democracy thing in Egypt, I think Obama
working out better than it is in Syria, isn't it?
It is, and democracy takes time. It's got to come at its own pace. Iraq and these countries aren't conditioned for democracy. Right. They got theocracy.
Well, neither were we.
No, we weren't. It took us a long time to get there. We had to get rid of some tyranny. We had to come about it on our own. Right. We had to come to the same conclusions that other people have, and it's just not the nature. It's a theocracy over there. In the case of Mubarak, and certainly in the case of Gaddafi, it's a thugocracy or a kleptocracy. They just steal. I mean, that's all they do. So, in many ways, from the American standpoint, you'd almost rather have a thug like a Gaddafi, or even Saddam Hussein. I'm telling you, there's not a cognitive person in the world over a beer that wouldn't tell you that you'd rather have Saddam Hussein back in there right now and our $1 trillion back and our 4,000 soldiers. I think we make a mistake occupying countries.
Yeah, Afghanistan definitely, Libya without a doubt, because there is, in my opinion, no good end to either of those, and the expenditure of men's lives and the economics of it don't equate to any value to America.
Sure, and we use our currency, we use our capital around the world. They hate us. I mean, part of the reason I think Laura Logan got molested, or they hate Americans too.
Well, I mean, here we are with Pakistan, and giving them $3.6 billion a year, and of course, what the crap you always hear is in the grand scheme of things, that's not much.
Yeah, exactly. They did a Sergeant Schultz. You know, they know nothing. You
Right.
know, they got, you know, here he is. You know, here's the CIA says, you know, well, there's $1 million house in a Bataban. You know, your first clue would have been there's $1 million house in a Bataban. I mean, how many $1 million houses in Pakistan? I mean, so obviously he's paying the locals off. They've got a political problem, and a lot of what they're bowing up against America is really for their domestic consumption. Whoever comes to them with the most money, they're going to do. They're corrupt as they get.
Well, you know, I mean, nuke them. You know, here's what I say: let's quit closing bases in America and try closing them in Germany and Korea and
or let's
Italy.
elect Netanyahu as our president.
Yeah.
You like this guy Netanyahu?
Yeah, I do like him. I do like him.
Israeli Prime Minister. He is. These guys are tough. They know how to deal with them. And
they know the sweetness of freedom and how fragile it can be, and America from time to time seems to be insistent that they surrender. So what? So there won't be any more violence? That's been there since the beginning of time?
Yeah, they're going to love them now, right? Yeah, their democracy is what ours should be like. Look, the Muslim world, the extremists in the Muslim world want to take over a country. It's going to be Israel. They're sitting right in the middle of these guys.
Right.
They'll be the first to go. They're not going to get us. They're not going to come over the ocean. These guys don't have armies. You know, they can get a couple of religious zealots to strap a bomb on themselves, but they're idiots. So, you know, some guys feel they're going to start out in Al-Qaeda as a suicide bomber and work their way up. I mean, this is the type of mindset you have here. And, you know, Al-Qaeda's all mad at America. You know, all the Al-Qaeda members, you know, they all just got a promotion.
Really? Step up.
Everybody's moved up one little thing.
Peter principle.
I'm not sure who's going to replace it. I think Ashton Kutcher is going to be the new.
Ron Hart, we'll be right back with Oprah. Welcome back. It's Newsview. I'm visiting with Ron Hart. So, Okra, as I like to call her, magnificently successful, 25 years. She says Sinaloy, and she's going to start her own network, or has started her own network.
Right. You know, she ordered the killing of bin Laden, and she retired. She went out on top.
Right.
No, that's a heck of a show. I mean, look, Oprah's went to Tennessee State. She's from Nashville, grew up poor. She's a great story. And people that are around her who know her well says she's a really tough business person.
Right.
And she needs to be an example of the African-American community or anybody that you can better yourself in America. And which is why I always wonder why when they become rich and Hollywood rich, they become liberals. Because there's a lot of pressure out there to be liberal. You can't act like you're proud of yourself or this notion of being liberal. But I think at her core, she's pretty tough. She's a tough woman. I mean, and I respect that. She's had a tough upbringing. She had a great audience. She built a niche business that was not there before. She has a tremendous following, 7-8 million viewers a day, and an audience. She stamped her thing on a book and it sold. She stamped her opinion on everything else it sold. She is terrific, and what she does in retirement will be interesting. But 20 some odd years, 25 years.
25 years.
It's a long time.
It is a long time. We got enough time to talk about the IMF guy who leaps from the shower in a single bound, svelte body and all, and tries to esporque the chambermaid.
Yeah, if convicted, he would be sentenced to spend 2 terms as California governor if they really catch him with this thing. Now, the guy apparently had a history of this. French people, first of all, they're French. I mean, they just know he's French. You know, he's French. You know,
so somewhere there needs to be some consensual issues. Don't you think, maybe?
I mean, like
even in France.
People give the French. The left loves France because it's a social democracy. They love that. You know, and if French are that way, or the Latin, he has a Latin temper. You know, if you're not saying anything, we're just jerks.
Right.
Right. Oh, he's a Latin temper, so he can do that. You know, he can do that. There's excuses for all the minorities or specific. I don't know. I mean, the guy clearly has had a history of this. He had an entitlement mindset. It's amazing that he's running the IMF. I don't know how he got there. There's 67% of the people in France think he was set up. But what I read, the woman's been there working 3 years. She's a West African who may have HIV, which is bitter irony.
Right.
And she's been working there 3 years. That's a heck of an operation. If you can put someone 3 years ago and know he's going to come out of the shower naked and try to rape a girl, if the French CIA did that, kudos to them.
And so the rapture has come and gone.
Yeah, I missed it. I was busy Saturday.
Well, I was in the bathtub.
Were you really? Is that what you're doing?
Me and the dog. I didn't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew we would go together.
Yeah.
And so my wife called me and she said, "Where are you?" And I said, "In the bathtub with the dog." And I said, "Waiting for the rapture." And she said, That was Eastern time, Lee.
Yeah,
Get out of the tub.
Well, that Reverend Camp, who's done this before, he has some history of calling the world.
He's moved it now to October, sometime in October.
I got to change my schedule. I'm making a note myself. He basically, he's all bummed out. He made this big proclamation. He's all bummed out. I was going to call the guy up and say, look, it's not like it's in the world. I mean, you're going to be okay. You'll be fine. He's like, people like him give religion a bad name. I mean, a lot of people that are doubters, et cetera. He said give religion back a long way, and there's a lot of interpretations of an archaic document, which is the Bible. It has a lot of great stories, a lot of great ways to live your life, but it's also subject to a lot of wild interpretation. And ministers forever have always issued guilt and fear to their flock, and this is a fear situation. He got $80 million donated to him, I'm told. $80 million. Pretty good gig.
I could not have thought of that.
You need to predict something.
Yeah, really. Join me with Ron. We'll be doing a Memorial Day show on Monday. And remember, those are my views. What are yours?